Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce myself. I am Joanna Mitchell. I'm the principal of North Tahoe High School, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all here tonight to our high school orientation. You're going to get a lot of information tonight. Please don't be overwhelmed. We will all be available after the presentation to answer any questions and to give tours to those of you who want them. And this presentation, both the slideshow and a video of the presentation, will be on our website. Also, you are welcome to call the school at any time with any questions. You can talk to me or Mr. Padilla, our assistant principal, or either of our counselors. Lisa Dulberg is the 9th grade counselor. She's actually the 8th grade counselor as well, so your students will already know her. And Jeff Ream is our 10th through 12th grade counselor. So we can answer any question you have. So it is time. You guys are thinking about high school. And for those of you who haven't had a child go to high school already, that might be a little bit frightening or intimidating, but hopefully exciting as well. High school is an amazing time. It's a time of growth, and we here at North Tahoe really think that there's no better place for that to happen. We think it's pretty amazing here, and we're going to tell you a lot about our school, and hopefully you will be thinking the same thing. So we have quite a few celebrations as a school. We have been recognized as a California Gold Ribbon school, as well as we have been honored with the State of California Title I Academic Achievement Award, and recognized by both U.S. News and World Report and the Washington Post for being high achieving schools. We have had a 100% graduation rate in 2015 and 16, and a 99% rate last year. And our average SAT and ACT scores are above the national and state averages. We had an amazing WASC accreditation visit. And so WASC is the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. And it is important for your students that they graduate from an accredited school. So that is a great process. It's a team comes for 3 days and meets with students and parents and teachers and visits classrooms and evaluates what we're doing here, helps us set our goals for the next 6 years. And we got great feedback from them. And a big excitement for next year, which will affect you guys directly, is that we were just accepted by College Board to be a pre-AP pilot school for the 18-19 school year. And there are thousands of schools throughout the country that applied for this program, and only 100 were accepted, and we were one of them. So this means that we will be supported by College Board with some supplementary curriculum in our English 9 classes to help prepare all of our students for higher level AP classes later on. It's really exciting. Speaking of AP classes, we're a school of currently 405 students. We're pretty small, and there are a lot of benefits to us being that small. One, that we know our students and can really support them and know them personally. One of the limitations of most small schools is in course offerings and sports and extracurriculars. And luckily, we don't have those limitations here. We have amazing course offerings for us, not only for a school that is as small as we are, for any school. Our offerings rival, urban schools with thousands of students. Each year we offer 15 AP courses. How many of those we actually end up scheduling depends on student interest. So you guys are doing course selections in the next couple of days, and we're going to talk more about that. But based on how many students want the different AP classes, we determine which ones we can offer. And so that usually ends up being from 12 to 15. So this year we have 13 of these 15 offerings. And sometimes, like AP Environmental Science, there'll be a big interest in it one year and then not the next. And so we'll offer like AP Chemistry the one year and AP Environmental the next. So it really just depends on what classes students want. We also have 2 complete career tech pathways here on site, and we're going to talk more. The district actually has 8, I think 8, I have a slide, 8 different career tech pathways that students can have access to, but here on site at North Tahoe, we have culinary and engineering design. There's even more celebrations that we have. We have an awesome band program. The band just went to New York over Ski Skate Week. There were 70 travelers to New York. That's amazing. And that happens once every 4 years. So once in a student's high school time, if they're in the band program, they have the opportunity to participate in that trip. We have award-winning teachers here, programs and clubs. We have amazing clubs, and we are open to students creating any club that they're interested in. It takes 2 members and an advisor. Anything that they want to create. Actually, just a couple weeks ago, some students approached Mr. Ream and said that they were interested in a graphic design club, and we have state championships just this year in boys and girls cross country and in alpine skiing and Nordic skiing. And really our greatest celebration is that we have some of the coolest kids that you'll ever meet. Each one of them is unique and has amazing talents in different areas, and they're just fun and nice. Our kids are really amazing and great to be around every day. And our enrollment continues to grow, so we have even more of them every year. We do have a kind of a unique schedule. We have a modified block schedule. This is going to seem extremely complicated, but it's not. We get used to it, but we will never know if you say, what time does lunch start? That is not a question that anyone can answer without looking at a piece of paper. But Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, we have 6 period days, so kids go to all of their classes. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we have alternating blocks. So they go on Wednesdays, they go to 1 through 5. Periods 1 through 5, and on Thursdays they go to 2, 4, 6. On those days, we also have an intervention period at the beginning of the day where students are able to go to their classes to get additional help. Sometimes they are required to go to their classes to get additional help. It's also a time where they can work with groups on group projects. They can go to club meetings. They can just study and get work done that they need to do. There's also a grade level class, a 25-minute class on these days called Pathways. And this is where they get some counseling information, grade level information. They do their community service requirement through that class. And then we also have the second day on Thursdays in Pathways is a silent reading period. We have a really strong culture of pleasure reading here at North Tahoe. We create readers, and so we make sure that at least once a week, everyone is sitting and reading a book that of their choice. So though this schedule is somewhat complicated, we believe that it is amazing, and it has really important benefits. It allows consistent instruction throughout the year, so year-long classes rather than classes that are completed within a semester. But it also provides the benefit of the block by having longer work periods where students can do labs and group work and projects, things like that. So it's really important. We get really positive feedback from students on this schedule and from teachers. We think it works really well. If you think an A is a 90% or above, not here. So percentages, the traditional 100-point scale does not mean anything in regards to our grades. We grade on a 4-point scale rather than a 100-point scale. So it takes what you've experienced in elementary school and middle school, there's graded on a 4-point scale, and just brings it to the high school level. Students do get A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's. But when you look on Aries at their grades, you'll see 0 through 4. 4 is advanced, 3 is proficient, 2 is approaching proficiency, 1 is minimal or limited achievement, and a 0 is no evidence of understanding. We believe that students are constantly moving towards meeting our objectives, and we believe in multiple opportunities for students to demonstrate their proficiency. But we do have a timeliness policy. It doesn't mean that students can just do things whenever they want. So students will be provided multiple opportunities to demonstrate mastery. However, they must submit their work according to the original deadlines. So they need to get their work in according to the deadlines. And if they can do better later, the teacher will allow them to do that. Once grades are in the grade book in various categories, those grades are averaged to create a B, C, D, F grade. I am happy to spend hours talking with anyone about this system and answering individual questions. Just give me a call. We also are known for some of our special programs here, especially one of our most popular is our Independent Study and Ski Academy. And I am going to have Laura DeLaurier, who is our Independent Study and Ski Academy coordinator, talk to you about that.
Okay, so we originally we started off as kind of an unsupported ski academy, and a couple years back, I was hired on to be the coordinator for the ski academy. So I'm here to help the kids that are interested in that avenue to be successful in school, to give them an opportunity for study hall, and to just kind of guide them when they're gone away on different ski trips or whatever. We call it the Independent Studies / Ski Academy because we do have some kids in there that are interested in gymnastics. Some have a lot of dance that they do. I have a girl who is a serious horseback rider. So it doesn't necessarily need to be just ski team, but if you are gone from school or have travels and it's due to an organized extracurricular activity, then our program is right for you. If you just want to ski in the afternoons, you have to do something else. It has to be an organized activity with coaches and a direction and a goal that you have. We have about 50 students right now, and we've had an awful lot of interest. If you're interested in that, my email is on the website. It's just L Delorier, try to spell that, FTTUSD, but you can find it on our website. It offers flexibility within your schedule and support for study hall. And we have access. We work very closely with Coldstream, so the kids that want to have independent study classes through our program at school, or you're also able to take online courses. We do have kids that take very advanced math classes that are online. Every single class that you want to take online though, please be advised that you must get it cleared with the counselors first. We're very adamant about having everything A through G approved, and as well as housed with the NCAA. We have had some just amazing students in the program, and we're very happy to be able to continue to offer it. So thank the district for us. Oh, we currently have Miss AJ Hurt, who is killing it on the circuit right now. She's been invited to World Cup events. She's won some NORAMs, and she is still maintaining a 4.0 average. She's taking calculus right now as an 11th grader, and is able to get her classwork in a timely manner. And we work hard at making sure if that's an avenue your student wants to go down, that they're supported 100%. And any questions, I'll be here later.
Next, we have Hillary Stoner to talk to you about our Link Crew program.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Hillary Stoner. I am the Wellness Center Liaison for North Tahoe High School, and I am also the Link Crew Coordinator. So Link Crew is a new program. It's a freshman transition program. You can see some pictures up here. And it was implemented last year. So I feel like I could just talk about it, but I think it's better for you to get a feel for it. So can I get 2 volunteers? I need 2 volunteers. You do not have to speak. You don't have to do anything weird. I'm not going to embarrass you. I need 2 volunteers. Hurry before Joanna kicks me out. Come on, 2 volunteers, please. 2 volunteers. Anybody? Yes. Oh my God, thank you. Yes, you too. Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. It takes a lot of time. All right, so you guys are going to be competitors against each other. Okay, this is a really simple game. You are going to put your hands behind your back, and when I say go, you're going to pull one hand out, and you can use whatever amount of fingers you want. So you can pull out 1 or 5 or 2. I almost got to say. You can pull out whatever number your brain comes up with. Okay, and between the 2 of you in your head, you're going to count up those numbers. And the first one who can yell out the sum of that is the winner of that round. Any questions? Okay, are you ready? One hand, ready, set, go. Wow, that's pretty good. Okay, we're gonna try again. All right, gaining some strategies here. Okay, ready, set, go. 6. Wow. Nice. Wow, you're very synchronized here. You could be. That explains it. All right, next round we're going to throw in a little twist. Okay, 2 hands. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Give them a round of applause. So typically what happens in this game, and what you'll notice, is after many rounds, you start to both be putting up 0s or 1s, or you have in your head 2 5s and it's easy to count, right? After so many times in life, in school, in many circumstances, after we've done it a couple times, we have some pretty solid strategies. In high school, it's kind of the same thing. Most times our juniors and seniors really kind of have things down. They know how to talk to their teachers about their grades. They know how to figure out stuff with their friends. But walking onto a high school campus as a freshman is a little different, right? We don't have any strategies yet because we haven't experienced this game or this activity yet. So what Link Crew does is connects those juniors and seniors who have a ton of strategies, and it connects them to the freshmen who are still kind of figuring out those strategies. Whether it's school or friends or life, we often need someone to ask questions or maybe to give us a little heads up on something. Sometimes other strategies are harder to find. So what Link Crew does is at the beginning of the year, your freshmen will be invited to an orientation. It's usually right around Laker Day. It's a half-day orientation, so they'll come to school and there will be 60 juniors and seniors who are going to be super excited to see these freshmen. Your freshmen will be connected to 2 of those, and they'll be in a little crew, 10 freshmen, 2 juniors and seniors. And through that day, they do a lot of awkward, silly stuff like this and laugh a lot and feel uncomfortable most of the time. But by the end of the day, they have 2 people who are ready to give them these strategies. And they do a tour, they ask questions, the seniors and juniors and seniors, tell what they wish they knew as freshmen. So the second that your freshmen walk on this campus, they already have 2 people who know what it's like, who have some strategies to teach them. So come August, you'll be getting a lot of robocalls and annoying invitations and all this stuff from us in the mail with a date. But you can expect that it'll be right around Laker Day. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you all in the fall.
And now, Assistant Principal Alejo Padilla will talk to you about grit and athletics.
Hello, my name is Alejo Padilla, Assistant Principal at North Tahoe High School. Here at North Tahoe High School, we have a program that's called GRIT. And we started off this program with roughly about 12 students. And it has grown to 66 students. It is a program where we focus heavily on our freshmen and our sophomores. So currently we have 22 freshman students in this program, 10 sophomores, 14 11th graders, and 10 12th graders. And the purpose of this program is to support these students to maintain a GPA of 3.0, to support them in participating in a school activity. And we go, and their number one goal, and we start this goal since probably the 2nd or 3rd week of high school, that they're going to attend a university. And so one of the things that I do is when progress reports come out, I will meet with these students and we'll have an academic coaching session with these students to talk about their learning, to give them some of those skills about how to talk to their teachers about how to improve their grade. And these students have really performed these last few years. I think this last semester, we looked at the academic achievement of these students, and I think we're about 85% of these students earn a 3.0 GPA and above. And so a lot of these students that come in freshman year, they come from the recommendation of their 8th grade teachers. And so a lot of the 8th grade teachers from North Tahoe School, they send me a list of these students and we start working with those students. So if you have any questions about this program, feel free to give me a call or send me an email and we can definitely look at signing your student up. Next slide, we're going to talk about the clubs. And here in North Tahoe High School, we do have a lot of opportunities for your students to participate in a club. We have a mountain bike club, a trap team, drama, interact, youth in action. We have a tremendous amount of clubs. And with a school of 405 students, there's a lot of opportunities for your students to participate in a club. And just how Ms. Mitchell said, if your student has an interest in starting a club, it is a fairly easy process, and we definitely support students' interests. Also at North Tahoe High School, we have a full list of sports that students can participate in. Laura Delorier, she is also our athletic director, and she is in charge of everything that has to do with athletics. Laura and I, we went through the number of students that are signed up, registered, and planning to participate this year or have participated. And 305 students are registered and they participate or plan to participate this spring semester. And to have 305 students participate in athletics in a school of 405, that is a tremendous amount of level of participation from our students. And I believe it was about 130 to 150 students were two-sport athletes. And so we have a lot of opportunities for students to participate. It is pretty equivalent to a school of about 1,500 to 2,000 students. And of a school of 405 students, our students have a lot of opportunities to participate. Even though they may not have an experience playing that sport, they can still go out and usually they will make the team. This next slide has to do with supporting your student in positive attendance. We know thank you. Also, another program that supports our athletes is called Athletes Committed. It is a program that is supported by our athletes, coaches, and parents, and also administration. This program, we have about 30 to 40 athlete committed leaders that they do presentations and they do some public speaking events that their focus is pushing this message of living a clean lifestyle, chemical free lifestyle. And the main message that Athlete Committed pushes is that a student athlete, if they want to do well in the sport, they need to live a clean lifestyle. Some of the science and the facts that they go over is if a student binge drinks or a student athlete binge drinks, they actually lose about 10 to 12 days of training. And so if you want to be that elite athlete or you want to do well in a game, it's best to live a clean lifestyle, because if you start drinking or doing other drugs, you're going to be losing out on the benefits of living a clean lifestyle, which will impact your athletic performance. And so one of the things that we've seen is that our students, one of the things that Athletes Committed that they do is that at the beginning of every season, we have a code night where all the athletes are required to show up, parents show up, and they're giving these presentations so they can support their athletes to make good, positive decisions. Also, we want to talk about supporting students in positive attendance. We just know that students that show up to school every day and they show up on time and go to all of their classes, that they will be more academically successful. This is something that we definitely push. So students can be academically successful, and students are allowed 10 excused absences per year. That is still quite a lot, but please support your students to come to school. Please bring doctor notes, dentist notes, counseling, court notes for all appointment and checkups, and you will hand those to Ms. Freeman, who will then input them into our area system. Also, if your student is absent for multiple days, we do have a process where they will turn in an independent study form where they will get some independent study work as they are traveling or If you know that you're going to be gone for more than 3 days or more, it's a good way to get that work and also to get your students' attendance cleared.
Hello, I am Lisa Dulberg. I'm the 8th grade and 9th grade school counselor. And back here, like Ms. Mitchell said, that's Jeffrey. He's 10th, 11th, and 12th grade school counselor, so you'll interact with him a little bit, but more once you get into 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So lucky students who are here, you've heard this presentation probably, and I saw Ms. Flan back there. She's heard it a few times as well. There's quite a few differences about middle school and high school. So the first one I wanted to talk about is credits and grades. So when you're in middle school, your grades count, right? They count towards, now you're in 8th grade, they'll count towards your promotion, they'll count towards the things that you get to participate at the end, and also you're learning and you're building your skills and your knowledge. But when you get into high school, your grades and your credits, they count towards graduation and they count towards college admission. So a F receives 0 credit, meaning you'll have to make that credit up or take that class again. So what you're doing right now is contributing to what you're going to learn in high school, but what you learn in high school will contribute to your future. Okay. RTI, Ms. Mitchell talked about RTI, so I don't have to talk more about that. Also finals. So at the end of each semester, each class, you have a final test or a final project that you have to do. We have long block schedule. I think it's 2 hours that they get to take the final, hour and a half. So they'll come into each class, it's on minimum days, and they'll take a final, so that's different than middle school. Also, you get a bit more freedom. So I like to talk about how when I'm at the middle school and we come in from lunch, I take the hats off of you, right? Take off your hat. Let me take your cell phone away. When you come over here, you get to keep your hat on, you get to keep your cell phone, but that means we're giving you more responsibilities. So we're expecting your age to bring your responsibility. You're making good choices about what you're doing. Electives, a great part about high school is you get to choose your electives more freely, and we'll talk more about what electives are that we offer. There's a bit more homework. I'll talk a little bit about our expectations around homework, but you can expect to take more home. You probably don't take much home, or you don't see your student taking much home right now, but you will in the future. And that means more organization. So you'll be taking home more paper. You'll also be using your Google Classroom a lot more regularly. And so you'll have to figure out your system. Everybody has a different system. My system probably doesn't work for you, and yours probably doesn't work for me. So right now, as you're ending your 8th grade year, start thinking about what works for me. Does writing it down work for me? Does putting it in my Google Calendar work for me? So we start looking at those things. Okay, thinking about college starts next year. So college is a long ways away. It'll start in 2022 for all of you 8th graders in here. And it might seem a little scary and really intimidating to think about it because you're like, Ms. Dulberg, I have 4 years of high school left to do. Why are you talking about college? But a big reason why students don't get into college is because they dig themselves into a hole their 9th and 10th grade year. So if you think about that one, say there's a student who, we'll talk about graduation requirements and college requirements, but if you get an A or an F in one of your classes, you kind of dig yourself a little bit of a hole, right? You put a little divot in the ground, but not something that you can't get out of. If you then get another F, you're digging yourself into another little hole. So you want to make sure you don't dig yourself too big of a hole that you can't fill back in and get out of. And, okay, some keys to success. So the first one is studying. Like we said, there's more homework, so you're going to expect to need to do more studying. We have an expectations that our student will do 1 to 2 hours minimum per academic course. And studying does not necessarily mean, okay, I have a test tomorrow, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna study the material. Studying means doing your homework, reading, doing extra practice problems, reviewing notes and flashcards. Like I said about working out the way that you organize, you're also working out the best way that you study. So I am an auditory learner, so it's best for me to read out loud. But some people are visual learners or kinesthetic learners, and maybe a mix of some other. So get involved. Like Mr. Padilla said, we have so many clubs and so many sports and so many opportunities for students to get involved at this school. The greatest indicator of a student's success is their involvement at the school, on campus. So if you're feeling connected to your classes, you're feeling connected to your teachers, your peers, that's why we do Link Crew, you're more likely to be successful. So we start you out with a great opportunity to be connected to your peers, and then if you continue that, it'll really greatly help your success in school. Show up every day on time, as Padilla said. So I won't say much more about that, but unless you're truly sick, we want you here. We want you here in our classes on campus because it's your best opportunity to learn. Okay, so first I'll talk about graduation requirements and then talk about A through G requirements, and I'll talk about the difference between those two. So these requirements that you see up here are what it takes to graduate from school. So to get you to that diploma on the last day of school in your senior year. So social sciences is 30 credits. Each class that you take is worth 5 credits. Each semester of each class is worth 5 credits. So then throughout the semester, you're gaining 10 credits for each class. So if you are required to take 30 credits of social science, that's 3 years of social science, and so on and so forth. So English is 40 credits, mathematics is 30, ooh, that says 30 years. It is not 30 years. It might feel that way, but it's definitely not 30 years. Let's see, I have years on 2 more too. So lab science is 20 years, and foreign language or visual and performing arts is 10 years. That's really good. Okay, so lab science is 20 credits. One of them has to be a life science and one of them has to be a physical science. Foreign language or visual and performing arts. So you have to take a foreign language, so Spanish 1, we'll talk a little bit about the tracks of the Spanish, and visual and performing arts. So that's gonna look like photography, chemistry, and art, okay? And then we have, why did I say photography? Ceramics. Ceramics. The years thing really threw me off. So then we have PE and health. And so PE health is 10 credits, and that will be in your freshman year. And then your sophomore year, which is culinary or engineering. That's 10 credits for graduation. And then elective credits is you'll have 60 credit minimum. So it takes 220 credits to graduate. And I know this feels like a lot right now, but I guarantee you through your 4 years, you will be supported by myself and by Mr. Ring to help you make sure that you're meeting these requirements. So throughout school, if each class is worth 10 credits and you take 6 classes each year, you'll graduate with more likely than not 240 credits. So there's no need to fret about not making it. If you're passing your classes and you're taking 6 classes, you'll meet the minimum credit units. Okay, so this is A through G requirements. So A through G requirements are different because they are, I was actually gonna ask one of my students because they heard me explain it. But so the CSU, which is California State University, and UC system, University of California system, they got together and they created these requirements. These requirements, they named them the A through G requirements. If you meet all these requirements, if you check the boxes, you are eligible to apply to those colleges. You're not necessarily eligible to get into the colleges, but you're eligible to apply. So you can tell it's a bit different. They're there's a bit more required to meet the A through G requirements. So for example, in mathematics, it says 3 years required, but that 4th year is recommended. And when you think about the colleges that you're wanting to apply to and get into, some people might have some ideas in their head right now about where they want to go, maybe you have no idea. When you're looking at the harder schools or the schools that are a bit more difficult to get into, and really if you're wanting to guarantee that you'll get into those colleges, you take that recommended amount. So some students, as we move through high school and as we move through our life, our paths change and our decisions about what we want to do change. And we're very happy to support you in those changes and in that path. When you start high school, your freshman year, you are on the A through G path. We start most students on this A through G path. So it's your decision as you move through high school what you want to do. Another thing to talk about, is foreign language. 2 years is required and the 3rd year is recommended, and it has to be in the same language. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, is they have to be C- or better. And you have to, so down here it says there's a CSU 2.0 minimum GPA, which is, GPA is grade point average. It's your, you add together your grades and you divide it by the number of classes that you've taken. 2.0 minimum GPA for CSUs and 3.0 minimum GPA for UCs. And that definitely varies. And you're definitely looking at a higher GPA than the more difficult school you're applying for, and no D's and F's on any of those classes. Okay, this is a typical freshman schedule, and I'll go deeper into this in just 1 second. But English, math, biology, those 3 classes, I would say most of our students take. Then down here, world language, elective, and PE health, that's where we get a bit of decision making where you can change it a little bit here and there. And the world language, it has an asterisk by it because it's suggested that you start in a world language. Okay, now this is the 9th grade classes when it comes and put into the A through G requirement. So there's no history, there's no social studies in your freshman year. You start with B, which is English, and we'll offer, like Ms. Mitchell said, pre-AP English 1 or English 9. And when you are course requesting, this is for my 8th graders since I will be coming into your class soon to do this. I don't think it says, Jeff, I don't think it says pre-AP English 1. I think it's going to say honors English 9 and then it gets switched. So we'll talk about it in class, but I just want you to keep that in mind when you're looking at your course requests. Area C is math. So if you're in integrated math 1 right now and you are successful in completing that class, you will then go into integrated 2. If you're in math 8 right now, you'll go into integrated math 1. And then area D is lab science, and that is biology freshman year. And then we go into world languages. So if you are in the immersion program or a native Spanish speaker, you would go into the Spanish 3 SS class, and then other students would go into Spanish 1. Visual performing arts, art, ceramics, not chemistry, photo, band, or drama and theater. And these classes are based on student sign up. So if students are signing up for them, then we will offer them. And then college prep elective, there's engineering 1, culinary 1, or music event management. And then finally we have PE. So we offer PE health on campus and then independent study PE health. And I think I'll talk more about this in a future slide. We'll talk about the difference between independent study PE health and on-campus PE health. Yes, there it is. So now I'm going to go into all of the different electives that we offer, and I'm going to move through it pretty quickly because we have some things we want to get to. So I'll just say generally what it is. So classroom PE health and PE2, which you won't see until your sophomore year. These are some of the great pictures. And then independent study PE health. So a student must play at least 2 school sports and finish the season or be involved in other fitness programs for at least 2 sports season, which is a minimum of 200 minutes a week. And that's something if you have a special case scenario, if you're not planning on doing 2 school sports, then you can talk to me or talk to Mr. Laurier about that. Absolutely.
So independent study PE health is a great opportunity for students who are involved in multiple sports. They do have to complete weekly assignments out of class for the health piece, and those are turned in weekly to the teacher. There's also a great benefit to taking the PE course with a teacher, the PE health course, especially the health component. It really, the students in those classes, they talk about decision-making and relationships and nutrition and drugs and alcohol and things like that. That's really important as students are, in their teenage years. So it's something to consider, whether the best choice for you and your student is an independent study PE health course where they're just, kind of getting it done and maybe potentially opening up a space in their schedule for another class, or whether they can really benefit from being in that class and having those discussions with other students. One of the other really cool things about our PE health class is your student will, in either one, the independent study or the classroom-based one, they will take home the baby that will cry and need to be fed and such for a grade. So that is one of the hallmark events of 9th grade year, is that they have to take care of a baby, and you will live with it too.
Okay, Spanish is one of our electives. I think I explained that enough. Then there's art, photography, ceramics, and then fine art, which is music, drama, or theater. So, weather permitting, on Thursday I will be in the classroom with all the 8th graders, and we will go through Aries and go through and do our course requests for the semester. So if you go home and talk to each other, decide what you would like to take and what you'd like to sign up for, I will be in the classroom on March 1st to talk about that.
So the other electives that students get to choose are their CTE class, that is Career Technical Education, and it is a requirement for graduation. Students will need to take at least one CTE class for graduation. We have pathways, which is multiple classes, and we recommend that students complete the pathway. CTE pathways are industry-themed paths of study that prepare students for various options after high school, including certifications and degrees with work skills in that industry. TTUSD is an open enrollment district, and was I right? We have 4, 5, 6, 7. I would lose that game. 7 different career pathways in the district. So as we said, we have culinary and engineering design here. Truckee High School has culinary engineering design, a biotechnology pathway, and a systems programming pathway. And Sierra High School has an emergency response pathway. And students can participate in any of these pathways. Sometimes logistics is an issue, but if a student really wants to, so say they're our student and they really want to participate in the biotechnology pathway or the emergency response pathway, we are pretty skilled at problem solving and figuring out flexible scheduling and whatnot. So I would bet that we would be able to make it happen. So students who complete their pathway, for us take at least the 2 classes, are recognized at graduation as pathway completers. They get a really cool stole to wear. They're nice looking. So our engineering design pathway, we use the Project Lead the Way curriculum, which is a national curriculum for engineering. It's really cool. We have a laser cutter, 3D printers, CNC router. We are supported by Ken Gracie and his company Parallax, who come in, a robotics company, and do really cool things. It's super fun. Oh, I said all that. And then we also have an awesome culinary arts program with Ms. Hartung. Our kitchen, if you choose to go on a tour later, we'll go up to the kitchen. We have one of the only commercial grade kitchens in a high school culinary program in Northern California. It's pretty amazing. Kids love it. They make and eat their food. And then there's 2 pathways. You can take culinary 1 and 2 here, or you can take culinary 1 and then we articulate with Sierra College in their nutrition class to complete the pathway. And the other pathway is emergency response, and Trent Kirshner is the teacher of that, and he's here to talk to you about it.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Trent Kirshner. I teach at Sierra High School, and I teach the emergency response class. And it is a class that your son or daughter might be able to take if they work out their schedule. I take mainly juniors and seniors. I do have a couple sophomores right now, so if they're motivated enough, that might be able to fit into their schedule. We operate on a block system. This is going to seem confusing. You've gotten a lot of other information, but we operate on a block system. So they can earn their 10 credits in half a year instead of going the full year, which might work out how it fits into your son or daughter's schedule if this is a pathway that they choose. Obviously, emergency medicine firefighting is our focus. We work really closely with Truckee Fire. The Sierra High School campus is located right behind the Truckee High baseball field, kind of over by the track in the district office. And we're really close to Truckee Fire Station 92, which is where they house most of their equipment and apparatus. So it's only 200 yards away from the campus. So we spend quite a bit of time over there. Most of these pictures, or all of these pictures, are my students in action with different trainings that we've done with Truckee Fire. We have the same equipment, the turnout, the bunker gear that we dress our students in. It's the same stuff that Truckee Fire wears. They get a chance to actually feel how heavy it is and move around in it. It's a very skill-intensive class. So what I mean by that is, being on the block schedule, we're 90 minutes, but we spend probably 30 minutes every day working on some type of skill. And it's not something that we've been successful in kind of doing skills all one day and then like the academic side all another day. For instance, today, our self-contained breathing apparatus, the air packs that firefighters wear, we were practicing throwing those, and they weigh about 30 pounds. So you can only do that for so long before they become pretty exhausted and pretty sweaty, because we're also in the gear that you see up there. The pathway is 2 classes. So they take the class with me and then they go on to Sierra College. And currently I have 6 students in the emergency medical responder class at Sierra College this semester. And if those students complete that class successfully, they will be wearing the sashes at graduation for successfully completing that pathway. My class is held from 1 to 2:30. So it would be a little difficult, but we might be able to work something out if your son or daughter decides to drive over to Truckee or get over to Truckee to participate in the pathway. And I'll be here after the presentation to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Okay, so we are nearing the end of the presentation. I know it's been a lot of information, but I wanted to thank you all for being here tonight. And I wanted to let you know that it is important for you to remain our partners as your student goes through high school. It makes me really sad when the middle school has like back to school night or parent night, and like there's nowhere to park, and because there's so many people there. And then, you know, we have our back to school night, and you know, that's not the case. There's plenty of parking, and your kids need you to come and talk to me and talk to teachers and be here, be involved, ask questions. All through high school. They're not independent yet. So please, talk to us, talk to your students about how things are going, what their concerns are, and feel free to contact us. Please check their grades in Aries throughout all of high school, especially in the senior year. We have a lot of information on our website, and I am a chronic and award-winning Facebook poster. So there is a lot of information that goes out on our Facebook page, so please like us on Facebook. We do robocalls and emails. I really try to keep the robocalls to a minimum because people tell me they're annoying, but I will email you often because those, you know, you can choose to read or not. And I send out, I do 3 main newsletters per year. There's also, we have after school tutoring on Thursdays and homework club. We offer 2 Saturday schools every month. It's pretty cool. It's not a punishment. It's mostly academic. There's maybe a couple kids who maybe made a poor choice and end up in Saturday school, but not very many. It's mostly kids who need additional time to get their work done in a quiet place with a supervised teacher. So 9 to noon, 2 Saturdays a month, we have Saturday school. And we are really lucky to be a high school in this community where we have such amazing support from our community partners. We could not do the things that we do and offer our students what we do without especially Measure A and Excellence in Education, our PTO. The snowball drop is happening this weekend. Okay, so this is actually, our PTOs are combined from the middle school side and the high school side. And so we work together to raise money. But please have your student sell those snowball tickets with a chance to win $1,000. That will be this Saturday. We have an amazing boosters club that supports our athletics and a fan club that supports our band program. And then we have many other community partners. I do want to let you know, if you don't know already from being at the middle school, we do have a school resource officer on campus, Allison Prero, Deputy Allison Prero. She's amazing, and she is here every day and also travels to the other lakeside schools and just supports us with educational programs and safety measures and just connecting with students. Measure is amazing. Definitely wouldn't have the 15 advanced placement classes without that support. Also our credentialed librarian and Measure also supports all of our electives and science classes to have all of the amazing supplies that they have. High school is an exciting time. High school years are known for students' exploration of themselves and their interests. Students oftentimes change a lot during high school, and they help define their future pathways and they kind of figure out who they are and who they're going to be. It's fun, but it can also be really challenging in different ways. And we at North Tahoe are dedicated to supporting all students through all of those challenges. Our primary is academics, but we are about supporting the growth and health of the whole child that is here. So we really care about our students, and connecting with them, supporting them is really important to us. So we are happy that you are here and looking at being part of our team. Apparently Laura Deloria is going to say something.
Sports. I try to get every single kid at our school to have tried at least one of our sports teams or cheerleadings before they graduate. I think it's super important. And with that being said, we do register my athlete, and there is a pamphlet outside there how to do it. You have to do it by the end. Try to get your kid registered by June. I'm happy to help anybody with any of that stuff. And it is out there, and you can always email me about that. But registermyathlete.com, we will also be sending out an email to remind you to sign up, but you can't sign up until the end of May. So don't do it tonight, but by the end of May, you will start being bombarded with, hey, sign your kid up now. Thank you.
Really, they were just about to cry with my touching.
No, go Lakers! Come on.
Okay, so upcoming events on March 1st, your student will be meeting with Ms. Dulberg to do their course selection for next year. We will have spring tours for your students in April. They'll come over during the school day and check it out. Then there will be the freshman specific orientation, the half day that Hillary talked about in August, followed by Laker Day. So that is all we have, the only information we have for you for tonight. If you have specific questions, you can come ask us, and we will have several people meeting in small groups to go on tours if you're interested in the lobby. Thanks for coming. Go Lakers! Woo!